Whether you enjoy spellcasting, a DPS type of player, or a survivability or a group buff, today we're going to be diving deep on what is going to be the best class for you once the game releases. So, not to waste your time, let's dive into the first one, the Mage. This class is going to feature the following. It's going to be a range combat spellcasting, is going to be able to use mana as your resource to be able to cast a different type of spells. Now, a mage is going to focus on the following. One is going to be an AoE type of player. So you're going to have elemental damages like electric, frost, and necrosis. So what the hell do all those three mean? Hang in there. I'll show you what exactly we mean here. Now, the mage can swap between the staff, the dagger, and the orb for various combinations with light, heavy, and of course, the different type of attacks. Moreover, your heavy attack is going to be a channel that can be used to range and is very helpful for channeling damage. So that is going to be a good class if you want to go that route. Now, in regards to the gameplay, a mage is very active. If you play other games, you'll notice that some mage type of classes don't move much, so you're kind of still. Not in this case. You're going to be a lot more mobile. You're going to be like a warrior moving around, but of course, with magic. Of course, you're not going to have the amount of tankiness that a warrior does, but still, a mage in Dragon Age The Veilguard is going to be a really fun class that you're going to be able to use. In regards to the gameplay, a mage, you're going to be able to dodge, you're going to be able to attack with your staff, and you're also going to have some type of defense with your bauble that is going to be able to consume some mana that you have. Now, in regards to the hybrid type of style, you're going to be a semi-melee that's going to be focusing on daggers, especially when you're using one particular specialization, which is going to be Spellblade, which I gotta say is very dope because you have the two in combinations, one using magic with weapons, which is pretty cool. I mean, I gotta be honest with that. Now, next, a couple things that you may want to know. If you want to play as a dwarf, you cannot be a mage. That's the only thing. Dwarf cannot be a mage because you're going to have a very low survivability due to its light armor and combo dependency for optional gameplay. So what are we looking at here? If you are looking for lower survivability, weak mobility, combo dependent, then that is going to be a negative thing in regards to the mage. But a mage is really good for range, versatility, and also dealing tremendous amount of damage. That is what a mage, especially when you have all different skills or you have a good amount of skills unlocked, you're going to be able to deal a good amount of damage. Now, let's take a look at the three different type of specializations or subclasses that you're going to be able to unlock once you are able to reach level 20. First one we are going to take a look at Death Caller. This is a subclass that has a higher survivability. It's going to be able to allow you to not only siphoning health from other enemies, so that will keep you alive, but also is going to be able to do like a necromancer of the group. You're going to be able to stack a lot of damage, a lot of effect, which in return, you're going to be able to use a lot of health for mana, which is going to give you a very unique resource in sustaining mechanics, which are going to allow you to take high risks and also with high rewards. But in other returns, you could die very easily. But once you get used to it, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. But don't worry about it. We'll bring you guys builds in regards to how to use this class, and there's going to be plenty of them. Next, we got the Evoker class. This one here, it is a eye status effect, which you're going to be able to provide a large AoE debuffs. This specialization specializes cold damage, lingers in the area, and can debuff enemies. So have that in mind. So instead of you being more up forward. You're going to be more of a support type of class to your other two members that you're going to be playing with, which are your companions. And we'll talk about it in regards to what are the best companions in another video. But the spell blade, which is the number 3, you're going to enjoy a hybrid gameplay, which you're going to use the magic and daggers at the same time. You're going to be very mobile because you're going to be able to depend a lot on different combinations that are going to allow you to keep alive. Of course, you're going to be mobile. That is why your survivability will be higher than probably the other two subclasses. Now, if Mage is not the type of class and you want to be more of a range type of DPS player, we got the Rogue class that is going to specialize on damage using dual daggers and also a bow as a weapon. So the Rogue can play both in a melee and a range type of sequence, and it doesn't require a bar to be able to swap active to the bows as a secondary weapon. So that is something very handy, meaning that you're going to have your bow at your disposal whenever you need it. Now, the Rogue uses the momentum resources. This is going to require players to hit light and heavy attacks, and it's going to be able to fill up the meter. So once that meter is filled up, then your active skill is going to kick in, which is going to increase damage on headshots or slow targets, with also leg shots that you're going to be able to do. Now, of course, this requires a little bit more of you getting used to it, because the more you're able to hit those headshots, of course, the more damage you're going to deal, and a lot easier taking down enemies will be. With regards to the gameplay, a Rogue is just a very fast movement. It's going to have infinite dodge rolls. It's also going to be able to equip with distance skills, and you're also going to have range firing off arrows. So that is going to provide you with a, if you want to go in or you want to be out, you're going to have those different type of options. But of course, as being a Rogue, being inside more, you're going to be able to deal a lot more damage. So what are the good and bad things about a Rogue class? First, good things. No weapon swapping, so that's going to help you. You're going to have a very high DPS that you're going to be able to inflict a lot of damage to your enemies. You're going to be very good at moving around. It is one of the most complex classes, so I have to say that is a very negative in regards to this class. Very squishy, and also, like I said, if you want to deal more damage, you got to have better aim so you are able to hit those headshots. There's 3 type of subclasses. First one, duelists. This one, you're going to be able to deal melee damage, and you're also going to be able to do combo type of damage, meaning that you're going to be relying a lot of different combos, but at the same time, this becomes very complex, especially in the way they decided to go about doing this type of class, the button combination, everything else. So it becomes a little bit more complicated than being something simple. Then we have the Saboteur. This is the type of class, if you enjoy turrets, traps, or just pretty much dealing a lot of damage to enemies with explosives, then this is going to be that type of class. Now you got the Veil Ranger, which you're also able to do a couple of things. One, you are able to do range DPS, so you don't need to swap your weapons in regards to the Rogue, which is a very passive thing that allows you to do this because you have that flexibility to using arrows or your bow as many times as you want. So it does give you that more flexibility. Probably this will be a type of class that a lot of you guys are going to choose. Now, if you don't like the Mage or the Rogue, we got the Warrior. Warrior is a different type of class. This one is going to be your standard type of RPG class that is going to have range. It's also going to be using swords, shields, and bar swapping to the two-handed weapons. Primarily, this is a melee range type of class that is going to throw its shield around, such as like Captain America. If you've seen him in action, well, this is going to be the Warrior in action. So the range It's also going to have a resource build as you attack and get stacked, so allowing you to cast spells. So you will have that, in a way, a mage type of flexibility there that gives you that option. Therefore, you should be able to soak up the incoming type of damage and use that skill as much as you can. And also, a warrior class is the simplest class, and also has a very high survivability. So if you're worrying about not dying too much, or you just want to keep going and stay alive as much as you can, then this is probably going to be your class, as the mage is the more less tankiest, and then you got the rogue, and then you got the warrior, who is the most tankiest of all the three different classes. Great things and bad things about this class. It is a good class for team buffs. It is great for survivability because you have that type of aggro mechanism that you're going to be able to obtain, and that is going to help you and make everything more simple. It's going to make you into a killing machine. It does have a lower damage. It is very weak to range options. So if you want something from mid to further range, then this is not going to be your class, because this one focuses more on melee damage. The different type of subclasses that we are looking at here are going to be champion. This one is going to be for that typical tanky type of player that wants more swords and wants shields. And not only that, but you're going to be able to buff your team, and you're going to have that high survivability. That is going to be something to your benefit, because you're going to be able to deal damage. On top of this, as a champion, you're going to deal fire damage, so it can debuff and burn enemies at the same time. So out of all the three different classes, the Reaper is going to be probably the best class to use. This one's going to provide you both with sword and shield, and a two-handed type of skill that's going to be able to drain out the health from the different enemies, giving you the self-heal mechanic, and also outlasting opponents with the necrotic damage, which is going to be able to drain and outlast the damage from your enemies. And then last, we got the Slayer, which is a very high DPS center type of class. It's going to be focusing on two-handed AoE damage and stunts. So your forego, which is going to be what you want in the game to be able to survive a lot longer and deal more damage, that is what you're going to need to focus out of it, and then to be able to play this class and have a lot of fun. So there you go. Those are the three different classes that are available at this moment once the game releases. Let me know in the comment section below which of the three different classes is going to be the one that you're going for. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next video.